there's somebody here that I think he's very important. His name is John Rafanello. We used to call him the Magic Thetan. Oh, yeah. He did a lot of dissemination back in the 80s, even before. He can tell you about it. And he was a big contributor to the expansion of Scientology, and everybody knew him. I think you were one of the biggest FSMs or the biggest disseminators back in the days, no? Can you give us a few words, please? Here's John.
Great job! Wow. I can't tell you how thrilled I am to be here. It's just, hiya, Steve. Oh, God.
Hey, Strawberry.
Strawberry. That's a nickname that an alien, E.T., gave me. Strawberry. I'm so thrilled. I have not been around ex-Scientologists in 20 years. Anyway, it's a thrill to be here. I haven't been around. I went to a party. A friend of mine, Corky, can I use your name? Where are you? Sure. Corky calls me up. He says, I owe you $250 from a seminar that I did 20 years ago. I was blown away. He invited me over to his house, paid me the $250 in cash, and I was back in communication with people. God, I love so much. Excuse me, I've always been a real emotional kind of guy. I love being around you guys. Then, the next thing that happened was we went to a party. This beautiful lady was there, and for the first time in 20 years, she called, and I hadn't heard it in 20 years. She said, it's the Magic Thetan. Wow. My life is so blessed, so unbelievably blessed. I was born with a beautiful, marvelous family. My grandfather, Plenty Pratt, was like Will Rogers, the old American comedian. He had that same dry humor and taught me my first wisdom way before Ron. I was about 10 years old. I was up at his farm in Wigville, Connecticut. Doesn't that sound great? Wigville, and it was Nellie and Plenty Pratt. He was on the porch smoking a pipe, petting the dog, and I was out kicking leaves. It was fall, and there were leaves all over the ground. I was having a great time kicking the leaves. All of a sudden, I kicked this one pile of leaves, and underneath it was the biggest red lollipop I had ever seen in my life. You know what, these carnival ones with all the squirrels? I picked it up, brushed it off, and discovered it was hardly used at all. Whoa, that was a great discovery, right? Now, if my grandmother, Nellie Pratt, had seen that, all hell would have broken loose. She would not have subscribed to the hardly used philosophy, you know. But my grandfather, even though he didn't think it was a good idea for kids to pick up lollipops either, he had a very different way of handling it. He saw me with a lollipop. I got nervous, thought he was going to take it away, and then he looked away. He went back to petting the dog and smoking his pipe, so I kind of figured my lollipop was safe. So I went over and I sat by him on the porch, enjoying my lollipop. And after a little while, he kind of cocked his head. He looked over at me and he said, you know, if I had known that you had wanted to eat that lollipop, I would have told that dog not to pee on it. It was the last lollipop I ever picked up in my life. And my first piece of wisdom. But look at the brilliance. At the speed of thought, he accomplished his objective by putting two mental images together. If my grandmother would have gotten all upset and all hell would have broken loose and we would have had a fight, and I'd probably end up in auditing, you know. But my grandfather was brilliant. And I've had a history of brilliance like that. I've been blessed with so many magical experiences. I've had cars that teleported down the freeway 20 miles. I've had spherical vision where I could see in all directions at the same time with a clarity far beyond what anything the body could do. I've had the joy of being Ron's personal troubleshooting auditor and researcher of different OT processes. You know, I got to be a class 12 qual auditor. My life has been full of magic, both in and out of Scientology, and it's such a pleasure to see all of you. I'm writing the history. I've been having a ball. I just did a 57-hour writing marathon. I wrote for 57 hours without stopping. The Johnny Raff Chronicles. I would love to share them all with you. I got a flyer, and I'll be happy to email them to you for free. You know, and they're going to be on the ESMB. You know, and it's just such a pleasure, God, to see you all again. Thank you.